to our newest series. Since we are both comic nerds, basically, we're going to start doing something that not every comic lover likes to do because they end up mostly in fist fights and drunken rages. So this is going to be a friendly,
debate. We're gonna call this a friendly
debate. Air quotes around friendly. We might end up choking. Anyway,
we're gonna call this Heroes Versus. It's where we take. My friend here, Steph, is a DC fan, and I'm a Marvel fan. Maybe we might do this weekly. Maybe we might do this every once in a while.
Yes.
We'll find out. You'll find out. We're gonna take one Marvel hero and pit him against a DC hero. We're gonna each get our own points to say, but you guys in the comment section get
to decide who's the winner.
To decide who's the winner. And you don't have to go based on
what we say. To go by us.
You just go based on who you think.
Because even though we know a lot about DC and Marvel, we're not, experts. Because there's a lot of plot hole stuff that we don't know about. But anyway, we're going to start off with our heroes. My hero is an all-time old-school DC hero that I love to death. Is Batman.
The Batman.
I'm Batman. And
my hero is the billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, genius himself, Tony Stark, Iron Man.
Yeah, the arrogant son of a bitch.
Oh, don't you just love him? Don't you just love him?
All right, so let's start off with a friendly debate. Let's see. Batman is the same way as Tony Stark, right? Well, his name's Bruce Wayne, but Bruce Wayne is basically the exact same person, except he's more on a level-headed level. But his character has been altered throughout the whole past.
Level-headed? Batman's a psychopath.
Wait, while he's the Batman, not while
he's a psychopath.
Not while he's Bruce Wayne.
He has a split personality. Tony Stark is Tony Stark, in and out of that armor. Batman has a split personality.
Well, he has to have that kind of brutal mentality to deal with criminals, to find out what he wants to know. He has to.
Tony doesn't. He just builds an armor and to take care of him for him.
Yeah, well, when you see like a black bat suit with like a superhuman guy behind it, you're like, oh shit, I don't want to mess with this guy.
It's just some crazy guy.
He's not crazy.
He's insane.
So anyway, point number one: Batman and Iron Man. There's only one difference really between them, is that Iron Man has an armored suit and Batman has an armored-ish suit, but it's not
ish.
It's kind of armored, but it's got a bunch of gadgets and a bunch of other stuff on it. And the Batsuit's been altered throughout the years. The only thing that I can say is that the Iron Man suit hasn't really changed since its inception.
Actually, Seth, all of these fans out here knows Iron Man has thousands.
He has a lot of different suits.
Yes, thousands of suits.
So does Batman.
Thousands of things.
Batman doesn't have a lot of different suits. He's got a lot of different modifications to his suit.
Iron Man has thousands of suits. Hell, at any moment,
Batman doesn't need.
If anyone's seen Iron Man 3, he can call upon every one of his suits to help him at any moment.
Yeah, well, Batman...
Like, just raining suits in to help him.
Batman's got the Batwing, he's got the Batmobile.
The Batmobile. Iron Man would hack that thing. He hacked into the government system by accident. If you remember,
he didn't really do it by accident, did he?
Yeah. He was like, oops, I am seeing nuclear.
He's being a smartass about it.
He was doing it. He hacked into it. I mean, he's the genius. He's like
So is Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne is a genius. They're both geniuses.
Yeah, they're both really similar, except for their fighting style, and their equipment. Really.
Now if you want to go hand to hand, if you want to go hand to hand combat, Batman will kick his ass. Outside of the armor, Batman destroy him. I'm not even gonna lie there.
Yeah, but Batman's got EMP stuff to shut down the armor. He could just.
You think Tony didn't come up with something? He comes up with everything.
I don't know.
He is that smart.
So is Batman.
They are both that smart.
Well, here's the thing. Batman is a detective.
Yeah.
He's a detective, and Tony Stark he's just a douche.
Hey. He's more to earth. At least Tony Stark feels like he's actually enjoying taking down bad guys. Batman's so serious and brooding.
He is the Batman. He's
just
the Dark
too
Knight.
much.
He's the Dark Knight.
I know he's the Dark Knight. Jeez Louise. I still think.
Serious. How would you feel if your parents were murdered right in front of you?
I don't think I would dress in a suit and go around beating up people.
Well, to hide a secret.
Hell, Iron Man's dad was killed in front of him. Well, not killed in front of him. His mother was killed at birth, and his father was murdered. You don't see him crying about it.
Well, he kind of did.
No, he didn't.
He didn't cry about it. He was like, He was like, he finally.
I feel like
it was finally revealed that his father actually did.
I feel like Iron Man's a hell of a lot more relatable than Bruce Wayne. Iron Man's a lot more down to earth. than Bruce Wayne.
Down to earth? Are you kidding me?
I mean, he has actual real problems. Nobody knows how to fucking feel when they have their parents. Iron Man has problems with relationships. At least he can keep a relationship.
Batman doesn't have time for that stuff, though. He's more.
Of course, he doesn't have time for it.
He doesn't have time for it.
Apparently, he doesn't have. Superman has time for a relationship.
Well, that's Superman.
Everybody else has time for a relationship.
Superman and Lois Lane. That's a whole other.
Plus, I always thought that Batman was a little overdone. I'm like, yes, he can just figure out everything.
Yeah, he's the world's greatest detective. Why do you think they gave him that title?
Well,
the world's best detective.
I'll guarantee you one thing: Iron Man would shoot him right out of the sky.
Yeah, and then
he'd shoot him right out of the sky.
Yeah, and then while he's falling, the Batwing just comes.
That would be an interesting.
I
would just love to see them two playing chess against each other, though. That would be an interesting. That'd be an interesting chess battle because they're two geniuses. You'd just be like, they'd just be sitting there staring at the board the whole time.
Yeah, they would it would be really. That
and then Tony would say something to throw him off. Or try to throw him off.
Oh, jeez. That would be one epic chess battle.
But that's why I always like Tony a little bit better. It's just because Tony has flaws. Well, he can be defeated. He can be. You never really see that in the Batman.
Yeah, and that's true. The armored suit is like, it's a tool that can be damaged and broken.
Well, anything.
With the bat suit, it can be damaged and broken, but there's not that much.
Hell, Bane broke his back. He can be damaged and broken.
Bane can break his spine. That's another thing that we need to get into real quick before we end this, because this video is shorter because Batman and Iron Man are almost the same person. They are different, personality-wise.
Yeah.
But everything else about them, they're completely the same, but except for their personalities and their mentalities. Because, Bruce Wayne has this really dark mentality on the world, and Tony Stark just doesn't give a shit.
Tony cares. He just wants...
He doesn't care.
This thing that you wouldn't understand. Tony Stark feels awful that his own creations were killing people. He had big regrets. The reason he created Iron Man suit in the first place. He's going off of a regret. Batman's just going off of rage and a fucking psychopath. Tony's going off of responsibility and what he should do.
Yeah, what
he should do.
Well, yeah, Wayne Tech, the company that makes good stuff to make. So obviously he wouldn't feel guilty about people killing people because he doesn't make weapons.
Wayne Tech is corrupt as hell, if you don't remember. Wayne Industries is corrupt as hell.
In The Dark Knight, the movies, but in all the other comics, Wayne Tech is run by Bruce Wayne. He is the CEO and the biggest shareholder, so he is the ultimate head ruler of the company.
But you have to figure it must have still been corrupt, because there's always this gap, which is the only reason I even looked at that freaking Gotham show, because there is a huge gap between when his parents died and when he becomes the CEO. There's a huge gap between when he was a little kid and what happened. So I can only assume that place was corrupt as hell before he took it over.
Before he took that time.
So that place was corrupt as hell. I'm just assuming that when he got there, he cleaned it out.
Yeah, and Tony Stark, he took over his company.
His company was just corrupt.
Yeah, and Tony Stark, Stark Industries. It's funny how in the cartoon show Stark International doesn't make
even
sense.
though it turns out, if you watch The Winter Soldier, spoiler, take a second, spoiler. If you watch Captain America: The Winter Soldier, it turns out that his dad, they made it seem like his dad died in a plane crash. No, Tony Stark's dad was murdered by Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
Because
he
was a shield. He was a head shield guy, so they murdered his
shield. He was one of the head shield members.
I don't think he figured that out.
That's the one thing I like about the Marvel universe, but I don't like is the Hydra thing. It's cliche, but it's also unique at the exact same time. It is a cliche, but it is unique. It's a weird combination because you cut off one head and two more arise.
Yeah.
It's just but the only thing. But here's the thing though. In real mythology, if you do kill a Hydra, they're dead. They don't come back. They will die. So
but they never die.
Yeah, but it's if you do take out Hydra, then they'll come back. No matter how many times.
It was a funny scene in Captain America: The First Avenger where one of the Hydra agents said, "If you cut off one of our heads, another one will grow." And Tommy Lee Jones just hit the corner, shot him with a shotgun. Let's go find another one. I was like, that was a good one. Let's go find another one. I was like, okay, all right. Yeah. Let's go cut another one.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, there's not much more to say on Tony Stark and Batman. Iron Man and Batman. My fault.
I tell you one thing. If we want to go on a more cinematic level, I think Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man is a hell of a lot better than Christian Bale's Batman.
I will agree with that. Robert Downey Jr. nailed Iron Man's character very well. Christian Bale did nail Batman, but he wasn't the right choice, I don't think.
You know what I think? I feel like Batman, this is what I've been feeling like. That's why I always say Tony Stark, because they had a debate on another show about, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal to some other Batman portrayal. I'm like, I feel like anybody playing Batman is just an actor playing Batman. After Robert Downey Jr.'s done playing Iron Man, whoever plays Iron Man again,
it wouldn't make
like,
sense.
It's going to be like, he's the guy trying to be Iron Man. I feel like anybody can play Batman.
Yeah, well, I don't think anyone can play Batman. I think there has been... But here's the thing, though. I think that Christian Bale came very close to Batman's character because there is a steady character in the comics of Batman's character. So his character hasn't changed at all since his inception in the 1940s. That's when he came into being. Yeah. So his character hasn't changed. It's hard to nail Batman's true character. I think the only person who nails it are in the video games.
Yeah, that's it.
I can't remember that voice actor's name who does the Arkham Batman. He nails Batman's voice, his emotions, his seriousness, and everything in between. He nails it. And I wish that he would play in a real Batman position because
I'll give Batman that. Batman, he does have the better video games.
He does have the better.
I don't even know Iron Man video games. I don't even play Iron Man video games.
Those aren't like the Iron Man game for the Xbox 360 was.
But cinematic, it's kind of weird to go up and down with it because
you know who else tried to get Iron Man's spot was Nicolas Cage was one of them. And I like Nicolas Cage, but that's the thing. He's one of those actors that he has to be.
Nicolas Cage.
He has to fit his role perfectly, or else it doesn't make sense.
Nicolas Cage tried to play Superman.
Oh, I couldn't. No, really?
Yeah.
Man of Steel.
There's a movie out made by this guy I see all the time on AMC Movie Talk called John Stepp. And he made this movie called The Death of Superman. I can't remember. The Death of Superman Lives. What happened? Because it was a movie. I think Tim Burton was gonna make a Superman movie.
Jeez.
And it was this. He made a whole movie, a documentary about how what went wrong.
Yeah.
And then Nicolas Cage with long hair as Superman.
I couldn't imagine that. I haven't seen Nicolas Cage. I like Nicolas Cage, but he's got to fit the role he's playing perfectly, or else it falls flat.
Kind of like Keanu Reeves.
It's so weird how that happens to him because when he played National Treasure, he played Benjamin Franklin Gates very well. He was smart. He was witty.
That's the last time.
Charismatic.
That's the last movie I ever really remember seeing going, yeah, Nick Cage.
Yeah, and he also did Lord of War. Oh, I love Lord of War. That was such a great movie with Nicolas Cage. He nailed that role perfectly. The Wicker Man, I don't know how to feel about that one. He didn't fit that role all the way through, and it didn't fell flat. And that's the one thing weird about Nicolas Cage.
We're going off topic right now, by the way.
All right. So anyway, guys, you decide in the comments who won this Heroes versus. The next series we're gonna do. You want to give it you want to say it, or you want to keep it a surprise?
You might as well say it. It's only
it's
just villains.
Villains versus. It's a flip-flop. We're going to see, we're going to pin our DC and Marvel villains against each other and see who wins that fight. The next one we're going to do, we're going to keep the characters a surprise. I know my character, and I think you picked yours, but I'm not sure.
We're going to
keep the characters a surprise. Because our characters that we picked are so similar-ish, but they're also very different.
Yeah.
In a lot of they're similar, but they're different, which is really strange. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining us on. You have something to say?
Now, just tell them what to do. Now, in the comment section, if you want to vote for my guy Iron Man, type Iron Man. Just type Iron Man.
And if you think Batman won, type in Batman, and then whoever. Has the most in the comments will win. They'll win, and we're gonna do this on about about a few day period. After a few days, we'll tally the votes after those few days and see which one won. We're not gonna keep it going. Or this is what we can do: we can put two different comments, one saying Iron Man, one saying Batman, and you either like the comment for Iron Man if you want to vote for him, or you can like Batman. So there'll be two comments on there saying Iron Man and Batman, and you hit like if you vote for them. Because that's what my favorite, his name's Aerith Carthage. He does that. If you want to vote for a campaign he plays in Total War, that's what he does. He has all the factions, and you hit like if you want to vote for it. So that's a very simplistic way of voting. So we're going to do that. We're going to figure out how to do that, and once we figure out how to put links in the description, we can start linking people to stuff.
Yeah.
We need to figure that out. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining us in this episode.